All right. What do you guys think of the new Christmas sweater here? Little mixture of Charlie Brown and the Second Amendment Boogaloo. But I want to jump out here quick, especially for my viewers that own the Ruger Precision Rimfire 22LR. If you've watched that video series and you're following that and you're curious of what scope and rings I'm using, it seems like every other week someone is asking me the question of what rings am I using with this particular scope. And I thought I mentioned it in the first part. It looks like I didn't. So I just want to do a quick follow-up of the scope, the rings, and some other highlights with this particular Ruger Precision Rifle 22LR. And I apologize for that. And I should have put that in the first part, but I didn't. And it seems like every other week someone's asking me the question, what rings and scope am I using for this 22LR and Ruger Precision Rimfire? And I try to answer them all as best as I can. I do have some social life, a full-time job outside of YouTube land, but once again, I do apologize for that. So getting back on track here, as for the scope, it is the Vortex Viper HS-T, the model number VHS-4309. You know, it's a 4:16 magnification with a 44 millimeter objective, minute of angle reticle, and turrets flavor. And the rings are the Burris 30 millimeter, the extreme tactical rings, and the medium size. Now, that is the item number 420162 on these particular rings. You know, obviously, if you get a different scope, these rings aren't going to work out for you. And you probably got to do exactly what I did. I went to the local Shields and I took my firearm to Shields and I tested out multiple rings to get that scope with the caps as low as possible. And I have a roughly less than 1/8 of an inch between the cap and the handguard. That's the name of the game. You want to get this as low as possible. Because like I mentioned, I believe in part one, I initially started out with a one-piece AR scope mount, but it just had the scope too high and I was running out of cheek weld adjustment on the buttstock. So if you're new to this video, especially this video series and my channel, do not use a one-piece AR scope mount in this situation. You will run out of adjustment on your cheek weld. So yeah, like I said, if you get a different scope, these rings will not work for you. You're just gonna have to simply test it out. Now, this particular scope, there's a reason why I picked this. It was first and foremost its price. It's very inexpensive. And I wanted something of a hybrid situation, something I could use for not only target shooting, but for hunting. You know, most of my precision target rifles use FFP or front focal plane scopes, and this is actually an SFP or second focal plane scope, or a rear focal plane scope. And the reason why is when I go hunting, at least in the Wisconsin woods here, it can be pretty rare for me to take a shot over 50 to 100 yards. And I'm probably going to have that magnification jacked all the way down to 4x, not 16x. And at least for me, when I'm hunting, in this particular situation, I'm not saying you can't use an FFP for hunting, but for at least for Wisconsin woods here, most likely you're going to use an SFP or a second focal plane scope. And at the 4x magnification, you want to be able to see that reticle. With an FFP scope or first focal plane scope, you jack that magnification all the way down to 4x, that reticle is going to be so darn small, you're probably not even going to see it. So that is the reason why I went with this particular model. And like I said, it's a hybrid situation. I like the exposed turrets. They're not capped for target practice, but it's second focal plane for hunting. So it's kind of a hybrid situation if I want to go squirrel hunting or rabbit hunting with this particular firearm. Some other notes that I've experienced shooting this firearm for, I think, 1.5 years now since I premiered that first part, is it seems like the more and more I shoot this firearm, the more accurate it gets. And I'm close to 2,000 rounds. The first initial 2,000 rounds of CCI Standard Velocity I purchased off of Brownells. I got that shipped for about $90, which is a phenomenal deal. I'm pretty much through that whole shipment, so I'm about ready to order another shipment here myself. So And the more I shoot this, the more accurate it gets. And the last time I shot this was that last video, the Know Your Limits shooting target7.com target system. And that goes to show, not only in that video, but the previous videos in that video series of how accurate this firearm is. And I have no issues advising my friends to get this firearm, as long as you could get it for roughly $385 or less. A good deal would be in that. Anything under $380, $375 is going to be a pretty smoking deal on this particular firearm. Now, if you start creeping over $425, I probably advise checking out the Tikka T1X, the 22LR. I know a lot of people have had very consistent accuracy results of the Tikka T1X, and the 22LR, and the 17 HMR. And I was this close to getting the Tikka T1X. And I was thinking about getting it, but this thing, at least for me, and like I said, the more I shoot, the more accurate it gets. There's no reason for me to really get anything else than the 22LR, depending with how accurate this thing is. And I'm super, super happy with it. Some other things that I have experienced shooting this for 1.5 years is I did have to have the, I think it's part number 29, the cartridge positioner spring, I think that's what it's called. So part 29. I was getting light ejections where the spent casing was pretty much just flopping out of the chamber here. And I called up Ruger, told them the situation. They said it's most likely that spring, that part 29 positioner spring. No questions asked. They sent me 3 of them, not 1, but 3. I replaced the 1, and then I put the extra 2 in my Magpul MOE storage grip here. In case that happens out in the range, I can replace it. And if you're having that same issue with weak ejections, you might want to call up Ruger, and they'll get you some new ones shipped to you for free. The other thing is, and I kind of touched base with this, I believe in the, I think part 2 or part 3, is the box magazine in here. Highly advise getting, at least for me, in my experience, the 10-round magazine. This clear mag was by far more accurate than the banana mag that came with the firearm. And I've tested it out. I've loaded this up to the max and ran stripped rounds off this magazine into the chamber and ejected it, checked out that bullet. And there's definitely a lot less scraping on the bullet with this magazine compared to the one that came with the firearm. So that's something else to keep in mind. But other than that, this Ruger Precision Rimfire 22LR for me has been spectacular. Crazy accurate. I love the trigger. I got that lowered down to damn near as low as it can go, a little over 2 pounds. And I really don't plan on getting another 22LR. I'm crazy happy with this firearm. And I just wanted to do a quick follow-up for you guys, especially the guys that have been asking the questions on which scope and rings that I'm using. Make you guys' life easy. So I will put one of my links in the description box below that will take you to a whole different website that will have my affiliate links in there for not only the CCI standard velocity 22LR ammo that I use, a link for the actual Ruger Precision Rimfire 22LR, the scope that I use, the Vortex Viper HS-T, model number VHS-4309, and the Burris Extreme Tactical Rings and the medium height, if you're looking to do something similar with what I'm doing. And can't say you'll get the same exact accuracy results as I'm getting. I can only show you what I do. Every barrel is different. If you line up 100 firearms, I don't care what manufacturer is, right off the line, and one barrel will not shoot the same as the next barrel. And trust me when I say that, when I've been shooting as long as I have, each barrel is like a fingerprint. And I can't guarantee just because mine shoots amazing that yours will not, or will. So keep that in mind. Anyway, I just wanted a quick jump on here for you guys, make this quick video. And don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit that notification bell, become a Patreon. Keep on scratching my back. I'll keep on scratching yours with this video content. And I'll see you guys in the next video.